in the name. He's bringing the money back, depositing it here for us to redistribute to the players, of course. This man is where it's at, but it's also here on our angle where it's all going to break down. We've got the boys over on the top side of your screen and on the bottom side. They're everywhere. You've got nowhere that isn't filled with players, filled with action today, and the GT20 Pro outplay the rest, and you can only do that if you're playing on the best phone in the biz here, which all the players are currently using. Great little top shot there. Wish I could have seen that a little bit more actually on the map feed. The Observer did a great job in that moment.
Yeah, they've been quite killing it over the event, if I'm honest, bro. It's been pretty tasty. I've liked it. We've had some good pans, good establishing shots. It feels like I'm watching cinema, but on a smaller screen. Yeah. Cinema screen's quite big.
Yeah, it's quite large.
Yeah.
We do have that surround sound though.
You know, I used to think that cinema screens were blurry just because they were big, and then I realized they need glasses.
You're blind.
Yeah, that was kind of a game-changing moment when I went, oh, it's actually really HD. I'm just fine.
Yeah, I've had that. I had that moment, but is this off topic? It's too off topic. We're on the plane path. We can talk about it. I had this moment like when I was a kid. I think I was 16. I'd gone without glasses for so long. Okay. I looked at the ceiling. I saw the lights. I was like, why are the lights in HD? And I got really sad. I was like, I missed out on this for like many years.
Just be lens flare. Oh, you've been living in Michael Bay's movie.
It was crazy, yeah. But straight into the game, we're going to get some optics on this one right now, see where people are dropping. We've got Team Liquid in here. We do have some of the other teams joining us from our groups. We are seeing how this one does play out. Group Green joining us today, playing alongside with Group Red. And this will be Group Red's last day to impress here on the stage, Jackie.
Yeah, last chance to see if you can accumulate some of those points and really leave no stone unturned. You know, Rejects had a good start into yesterday. They had some hype, but we kind of had the question of, is that something that's going to carry on? That was the focal point down in the studio beneath us, Blank. And honestly, there was moments, but I don't think they followed through anywhere near as strong as they started.
Dude, no, it's kind of unfortunate. I think teams have sussed them out almost, really, which is just a case of we walk at them, they get scared.
They panic.
They go into the little small ball.
Yeah.
Right, as much as possible.
Move.
The armadillo move. They try and get away. They're not fast enough. They're not rolling like Sonic. They're rolling like an armadillo.
Well, he's a hedgehog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're rolling like an armadillo, not very fast. No.
More known for defense. Armored shell, hedgehog, spiky shell. Yeah. Know your animals, everyone.
However, the boys here in the tournament, they've got pretty powerful attacks here. So even the armadillo move doesn't save them. So I think that's something that Reject's going to have to change. But again, tough for them. This is their last day of play. Again, it is top 12. Top 12 make it through. It's the bottom 12 that will be heading through to the survival stage. No one wants that. You really don't want it. You don't want this map as either, because we're heading over towards our angle. Tough decisions to be made here for a lot of teams. Few teams a bit lucky than others, with 4 and B already starting down here. Falcons, classic position over Nova Neuer. Back on ST, this is where they would drop all the time. They have a lot of control from this spot on the map.
I do indeed. You know what, I'm going to put you under the bus immediately, Blank.
Do it.
You need to do it right now, just based off what you're seeing. What's the gut feeling? Who's taking this one? I'm going to make you do it right now on air.
I'm going to go Falcons on this map, actually. Yeah. I'm going to go for a Team Falcons. It feels right. I mean, they've already rinsed Tiamba.
See, this is why we pay you the big bucks. Blank just knows what's going on. Falcons switching in immediately to kick this off.
I smell it.
You do. You kind of have quite strong nostrils for PUBG Mobile talent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
or PUBG Mobile talent.
You sniff them out. You're like, that guy's going to play really good today. Tony K, I remember we walked into the green room. You were like, smells like Tony K.
Smells like Tony K today. Smells a bit like a vampire. I'm feeling it. But yeah, I think that Falcons should have this game pretty under wraps. I think from the position they're in, decent rotational spots. Kind of depends if they get Icy back up again. I think they should be able to. And it would be unfortunate losing him as he takes another nade here. Where's the rest of the team at? Come on, bring him in. Icy's your off angle. He's the guy that's going to hold back the tide. At least the smoke's thrown on inside from top here.
And this is Tiamba, that although down, could still make some problems out of this one. They've been looking pretty good over the course of today and yesterday, at least with the gun skill and a lot of the individual firefights they've been thrown into. And they haven't had much respite, Blank. It feels like someone is always targeting them, or they're looking for opportunities to get stuck in early. But down to just a duo in the opening moments, it's not the dream, is it?
It's not the dream, but they have been relatively smacking it today, to be honest with you.
They've been playing well.
Yeah, at 95 points here, and even QZ picking up East here. What's going on? They need to finish this off quick. Luckily, Icy's brought back up again, but you're still down a member. Will get flushed out by QZ. What is this play coming through from Falcons? Not able to contain two players. I mean, they are two players who are coming off some fiery hot games today. So it's a little bit difficult. Finally, there is a rebuttal onto Shan from Tiamba.
As we've seen though, Tiamba, even when they're down to dire straits, they still find a way to make it work. We'll check back in with that in a moment though, as it seems like there is a bit of a compound commotion going on here. Xavier up top as nades are raining in. Meanwhile, finally, the rest of the Falcons look to whip out the mop and bucket and clean up what remains. So Tiamba are down and out.
Yeah, tough one for Tiamba there. I mean, again, you've only got 3 more matches to do this, and I think they've set themselves up pretty well. Nasty nade just dribbles down the stairs there and will end up in his lap.
Oh, mate, could be some more carnage where that came from as well. Big Papa Pump in the hands of the Miracle Vibes as the DPS is looking to give a very aggressive hello to the start of this one. Switches out to the utility instead, wants to block off the angle and force them to cascade further back.
Interesting fight here, honestly. I mean, they're so low on both teams, but it feels like 4MV is getting back up to power much, much quicker here. Xavier coming out. Lamborghini is flushed, and 4MV is just getting rid of the stragglers now. As Xavier went for a bold play early on to try and take this position off the hands of 4 Miracle Vibes. They have hurt them, but not quite enough.
Ooh, and that's an unfortunate way to go out then in the end for Paragon. Slides down the stairs as the nade is dashed on over, and they are our second team to be wiped off the face of the map this time around, for Miracle Vibes surviving the encounter there.
Mad Bull's first innings into the group stage hasn't gone terribly well so far for them. 24th place, 5 points accrued on the game. That's a tough one for them. Still have tomorrow, but feeling like a bottom 12 to me, really, at this point in time. Just not displaying the same kind of power. Getting a quick replay on this one. This is the initial spray down coming through from East, who they, in fact, actually lost in the end, but he opened this one up for them.
It was a nice engagement as well. You love the angle. It's always filthy. Very hard to get the shots back onto him, but in the end, he loses his life for it. But they took out Tiamba and stopped them from bloating themselves any further. Will that be that beneficial for them overall, though? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of Tiamba is decent, but I don't think they expect that fight to go on for so long. And again, for Falcons, it is a case of you coming up against the toughest team in the lobby currently. Yeah. So that was never going to be an easy fight, but they do well off the back of it. I like it. I like it a lot. In the meantime, again, it's a lot of these tough decisions that now need to be made. It is very much a guaranteed Sosnovka finish with this circle. I think there's no doubt in my mind that this is heading back up towards the north side. So you do have that glut of teams that all just want to get in on the action. Already, you got Harami up towards the top side on Observatory right now, just looking down on the competition as the circle does lean a little bit over towards the east. Let's see if we get an eastern shift. That could be a very good position for them to take, but it is an early decision to head that far up on the high ground. You're coming off that one, bit spooky, bit scary.
Yeah, could be a bit of a nightmare with the scaling if you don't have the right tools or potentially shoes for the job. You've got to really dig those feet in. Unfortunately for Sara, he's been dug down 2 foot shallow. He was taken out quite early on for rejects, so they're playing with just a trio in this one. Team Liquid sniffed them out ahead of time, so they're just trying to keep themselves behind cover and keep their noses clean, really blank. We've got everyone being slowly ushered forward now as well.
I mean, respectable play to Xavier, honestly, trying to contain that position from 4MV, but dear me, look at that circle, Jackie. How much water is in that bad boy? It's 70%. Off the map. Yeah. At least, definitely. And now that position from Harami becomes incredibly strong up towards Observatory. Taking that one early is always a risk, but I think when you know it's going to be a Sosnovka finish, you just take that one. It's not like you're going to have to move back up north. You're just going to have to come off it to somewhere else. But this is killer. And I think that with the fact that they're sending players further underneath as well to take care of some other compounds, just in case they need to move, this is a great idea. You've got those backstops. You've got players on that top side able to take the shots for you. But Reject looking to hold out. Dweller in the water. 1 player down in Sara.
So Reject took a bit of damage early on. Scoped it out. They want to deny control of the bridge and stop those rotations dead in the waters, and that's exactly what could be happening here with the bullets that are just whizzing on by. Bit of a setup for back for Talon. They do have somewhat cover, but it's really finding an angle to take any shots back at Reject. They're so far in, it's an awkward angle to fight from.
Yeah, man, it's not easy, and I think the fact that you still have a couple of teams that want to make their way, and I mean TJB is still behind, but they're biding this one out. Vampire are actually going for a very, very eastern swim here, and I mean with the amount of water that's still in, you could have a reasonably good game just by staying out and peddling water for as long as you can. Nice nade from Mad Bulls over towards Harami, and this does feel like somewhat of a mistake to come off Observatory so early, because they have just completely left it, and by that time teams should have moved in.
Yeah, and this is just going from bad to worse the longer it continues. Mad Bulls were on parade, they stormed into the compound, they've isolated the fights bit by bit and made it look easy for themselves. Now you've basically got one man in the back line looking to provide any sorts of cover, trapped inside of the hut with low health. It really isn't looking great for them.
I mean, you look at where Alliance is right now, on top of Observatory. Like, they must have got up there, prepared for a fight, and we're like, why is no one here?
Why is it empty?
Why is it empty? So, in my opinion, I get what Harami's trying to do. They're trying to secure a better position in the circle, but they took too long to do it. Nice shot, though, to start things off. And another from Federalis.
Okay, this is actually kind of clean now. It's a bit of a resurgence back into the fight. Remember, at one point here, it looked like a stalemate. You were down and out. You were in a position where they couldn't even really get the pick-me-ups back off. But you can reset from this point. Federalis can try and get his man back on his toes. He hit some sick snapshots, especially up close. There is a nade being primed, though.
4MV in the sidelines as well. They've moved in from that western side. They weren't in the greatest of position, but they got 4 players. They should hear this, and this is a pretty prime time location. The fact that Mad Bulls are rebuffed off this one, look at this 4MV now setting up. They've got the side angles. This fight is going to be incredibly difficult now for both these teams in Mad Bulls and Bro, Harami. It's all gone wrong, and I think it's simply just a case of getting a bit greedy with the positioning. You're there early enough, just accept the fact that you've got Observatory.
They wanted more eyes bigger than their bellies, and it really could come back to haunt them. Really trying to get these nades on target as well. You've had a window of opportunity to delve back inside of the building, and that's exactly what they've gone for. So just a mere distance ahead of the Liquid on the rotate, and they are in the deep blue sea, Blank, going down.
Man, this is what you get, Team Live. You got to find yourself a vehicle, find yourself a boat. Can't just be flowing in. Falcons taking shots over towards them, but Vampire, they are withstanding. The bullets coming their way. Team Liquid, that must have been a horrible feeling, hearing the boat propellers coming up behind you, desperately trying to swim, front crawl as quick as possible to the land so they can attempt to try and have some kind of defense versus them. Vampire can keep just swinging on the side. Get rid of the players from Team Liquid. They've set up shop. This is great news for them.
It really is. And now it comes down to a battle of the mythological creatures in reality then. The vampires versus the seahorses. And the seahorses are gone blank. Wiped out from existence there. A little bit of rotating as well. So this fight isn't going to slow down for vampires. You're still going to be pushed on. Could be some stakes in the hands of the Falcons looking to trap them in place and deal with them.
Got D plus Kia taking a fight with Brute Force. They moved in on that western side. They've had a slight slower rotate just because 4MVs kept them at bay for a long while. So they've forced them onto the edge. They're having a great fight right now versus Brute Force, so at least they're able to handle this one. D plus Kia sort of haven't had an impressive day so far. I mean, they're still 5th place, but the amount of points they've been accrued since yesterday, not much. So I think for D plus Kia, they'd like to hit some more points on the board. This is their last day of play. Going out with 58, that gives a lot of opportunities for teams underneath them to leapfrog ahead.
At one point here, it felt like Talon were the team that was getting gatekeeps by Reject on entry, but they've turned the tides a little bit, find their way through the squad ahead of them. Reject is still slightly further ahead and do have the blue behind them. They're going to try and get themselves into the zone, though. Could run into the pathway of Udo Alliance that are very close by.
Yeah, I think if you're Reject right now, you just want to get further into the circle. I think you've had enough of this time wasting over on the northern side versus Talon and Tongjiabao. So getting into the circle, better idea. They do lose a player on the back foot there. They were down to 3 already, so they know they desperately need that 3rd player to have any kind of hope of having some of these equalized fights. Good shots from 4MV here. Brute Force tried to circumvent round D plus Kia, but puts them in an awkward scenario. Good initial nade, though. Keep things at bay, but it's not enough. 4MV is lighting them up.
Yeah, the brute force is good for the offense, but the defense right now not tenacious enough as for Miracle Vibes run in and initiate the cleanup crew protocol. Overall, we're dropping squads left and right. Vampire still towards the coast side, looking to make a bit of a move up as well now, finding an opportunity.
The fact that they've been allowed to walk up to Mad Bull's compound alongside with Bro Harami is pretty disgraceful, honestly. Harami is not here anymore. They're gone. Out of the game. Mad Bulls were able to solidify this position, but this just gives a huge amount of power towards Vampire. Taking the fight 4v3, the utility can't be that high from the Mad Bulls. And with Vampire having a lot of time to loot round Mini Milter, then take that boat into position, they should be good to go.
Yeah, they're looking like they're gassed up for this one as well. Want to kick off the engagement. That's one way to take the top off like a can opener. Snipe their way through the side. Close the distance between them. The shotties can get up close. Response is clean back, though. Here we go, Tulika. Lighting things up.
I mean, it looked good at the start there from Newsy, but it seems to just be a doozy here for Tulika. Pulls out the S12K. They're not getting the shipping container. He's going to ship them straight back to the lobby. Very nice hold with 7 eliminations. This is what Mad Bulls needs. Down in 22nd place now. We're able to dig themselves out from 24th. Nice to see.
Massive response. Good discipline as well, man. That's really one of those, Blank, where a small second of missed timing on getting that first shot off, it all could have gone wrong. In fact, he's been able to clean up like that, put himself into a great stead in terms of the Elim points as well. Good response for Mad Bulls, but the fights continue elsewhere.
Little replay on this one. He even got more on the fight here, bro. Damn. Just went through, easy peasy. Nice plays from the Mad Bulls. That's going to be some confidence that they desperately needed today. Has felt a bit rough for them. 4MV with their 9th elimination will sit themselves up into 3rd place here. Teams just keep assaulting them, and I think that they're delivering a message to the rest of the lobby right now.
Yeah, they want to show that they're not scared. They're just fighting fire with fire, and right now it's lighting the fuse for those nades that are raining in and blowing away the opposition again for Miracle Vibes delivering when they're put under pressure today.
This is a crazy game to start things off, Jackie. You do have this issue where so many squads had to get here so quickly. It was not easy at all. But they've managed to do it. They've got in, they're in position, 4MV, swinging around the side. It's kind of a crazy ordeal, to be honest with you, to get into this position, then just holding it versus several different teams. I'm loving it. I'm loving it right now.
Yeah, this game's been delivering. We came in at just the right time. Blank couldn't miss any of the action that we've been given on this one. Tulik is still getting stuck into the action, man. This guy doesn't give a damn. If there's an opportunity to fight, he's going to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Mad Bulls, they know that they need these elimination points. They need them now. So I think for Tulika, picking up these points where they can is really, really good. I mean, look at this split from them as well, down towards the south side. They are all over the place. Even Tulika flying over towards Reefus, taking him down, running away like a ghost in the night.
Yeah, I kind of love this.
This is crazy.
Is sick, man. He knows how to play with confidence right now. And it's kind of sick. You can see with the split,
they're
letting him just do it. If he wants to go in, he's going to go in.
Swinging around the side, getting that information, but with this shift on the circle over towards the eastern edge, Falcons have a really good spot. Problem is 2 players, right? They do not have the force to withstand a lot of this. And it's surprising the amount of teams on a circle like this that we have with 4 players live. I think we currently have right now 4 teams with 4 players up, 1 team with 3 in Mad Bulls. Everyone else is on limited members. So this is going to be a really nice finish. If anything, this is going to be a very, very fun one. It's going to be action-packed, explosive. So hope you sorted out whatever you needed to do before the game, because we're locked in now.
Yeah, there's no time to get a drink anymore. Make sure you got your seatbelt on, because it's about to get bumpy. We're entering turbulence, Blank. The no smoking signs on and the seatbelt signs. So get strapped in as we're about to take off.
Like you said, Jackie, it's going to be a bumpy ride. With, you know, this way and that. You might end up 180 at one point. Woo. But don't worry about it. We got you. We're here to fly you straight through to the end of the game. IHC starting things off. 4MV looked pretty impregnable for quite a while, but at this point in time, they're just losing members. And I think it has just been a case that that message was sent out, and there's been a bit of a response here from IHC. You're not the only elimination-heavy team in the lobby. But they're coming in slightly late here, Jackie.
Kind of living for this bit of a response back from Mad Balls as well, dude. It feels like we're getting that intuition in a lot of the fights. The individuals are hitting their shots. It feels like the confidence is there. And that's something you always want to see when they're in the battleground. Ooh.
What are you doing?
Yeah, this feels a bit rough. Alliance usually so switched on over the course of the day. At the minute, though, you isolate yourself and lose out in an important way against Talon.
I think they try to hold up on the high ground for a long time. I think as soon as you see that circle shift, you should just be moving. And for Talon coming back into this one from that west side, you probably should have expected some teams that would have made it across that western or eastern bridge. Leon's is furious, just desperate for the rest of his team to get across that road, to regroup with him. There is a bit of a comeback here, though, from Alliance over towards Talon. Can't count this team out. Currently second place, the only team with 2 chicken dinners in the tournament so far. So really doing some good stuff.
Oh, man.
And Leon's by himself. He's taking down 4MV.
Yeah, he's like literally soloing this right now. He's just taking on the raid boss and dealing a good amount of damage out one by one. Misery loves company as well, Blank, and the problem is it might be in the favor of more elims going the way of UDO Alliance versus Talon as they come up the hill. They've been dashing nades back to back to back, but they're going too wide with the geometry. They're up close with the weapons now. You've got to be split-second decision-making with this. Pulls out for the secondary, does good damage on the first, and they're starting to make it look rough.
Mate, Leon's is still having an impact on this fight. He's securing the location ahead and securing the location behind. He is on a swivel this game. Naxel attempting to get down the hill, but there's already players snaking it out. And there's no room for him. There's no room for him and his teammate currently in circle. The blue pushes right up against his head here and will force him further forward soon. But Leon's is having such an impact in this game. It's nice to see because, I mean, Jimmy going for some of those off angles earlier on. Now it's Leon's taking this one. Everyone can play each individual role very nicely. He is now down to just himself. I think he did a fairly decent job at trying to keep that fight alive for as long as possible. IHC coming in. 4MV just bled members, but I think they've already done pretty good this game. 11 elims. Lovely to see. And we've just like that, with a snap of a finger, we've lost all those teams that had 4 players alive. And suddenly, Mad Bulls is our strongest team in the lobby.
Yeah, and they've been kind of playing pretty damn good in this one with the isolated fights they've been taking. If they can coast it out for the longevity, think about the finish. There might be more for saying about the Mad Bulls. IHC do get an opportunity to strike back on the 4 Miracle vibes. You go from 2 to just 1 single player looking to make much done. We talk about solos, though. Look at the discipline on this. Still finding opportunities to take isolated fights and get a couple more points, even if he is in a really rough spot.
Yeah, this is really good from Leon. I think what he was trying to do is wait for the knock to come through from a different team and then confirm afterwards, potentially when the reload comes through. It's a smart play. He realizes they don't have the shot on him. He does, so he just has to take it. I think that's smart, you know. A lot of times some players might have just thought, well, I won't take the shot, won't reveal my position, but he understands we need these points, right, to keep us up there towards the top. Tulika on 999 damage right now, almost breaking that 1K mark. And this is the kind of guy he's always been. What is Leon's up to?
Oh, man, how's he keep this going?
He's decimating right now in the lobby. Lovely to see. But this is what I was saying about Tulika is he is very hot and cold, but you take him off the leash, he gets a little bit of that adrenaline pumping through his body, and he will go off, right? And I think those 2 eliminations at the start of the game was what he needed, right? You got to get that confidence back, and I think now what we need more than ever is the Tulika of old, right? Just unwieldy to the team, like a broadsword, but he does the damage.
He really does. And there could be more damage coming the way of UDO Alliance here. Leon's has been maintaining this pace. He's isolated pre-pod. He sniffed out the weakened man.
No way!
And he does it again. Leon's. Clearly there's some kind of voodoo in that camp because UDO Alliance do not stop. Even when they're down and out, they find opportunities to make it work.
This man is just taking names, writing them down on a piece of paper and just ticking them off as he goes. Falcons, remember what we talked about, that really strong position over towards our eastern side, but they are starting to be cut out of the zone, but Leon's is starting to feel like a real threat in the circle, even as this solo member. Vampires go out, not able to hold that position on towards that south side. They did live for a little bit longer, getting that 6th place. Not ideal, but it's still better than going out that early to Mad Bulls.
Could have been a lot worse. And there's still so much room in this one to go topsy-turvy. We're hitting ourselves into quite an important piece of the pie then. Top did a good job on turning onto Vampire and keeping the backline covered. They can focus on the front, but they're taking damage. The wings are clipped as Mad Bull's ratio on the contact.
English starts things off strong. I love the way that Mad Bull's built their team. You know, a couple of players from Duarte there of old. Flique and English. Tulika, as well as Zerich, who was properly a prolific player back in the day. And I think that when you look at this team, on paper, it's awesome. It doesn't always come together, though, the strategy-wise, and I think that's something that maybe they need to improve on. It looks like they're doing a lot better here, though. This split looks really cool for me, and they have just let Tulika fully off the leash. He's on the other side of the map to the rest of this team, and they're just okay with it. He is pumping damage into this lobby. Another there. And it's Tulika. Of course it is.
Oh, man. The second he smells any kind of opportunity to strike, he gets involved. Tulika is lighting up the competition again and again in the battleground right now. There is no one that can test him, and it's not just him. That's the fact that you're bringing up, right? You've still got by far the largest amount of firepower in terms of the man advantage on the server.
English and Flique, long-time duo in the past on teams, now reunited, and they're just playing off the back of one another. Letting Tulika get his thing done. Top's able to take down Baron before that nade goes off, so Mad Bulls will be taken away. One of those elims. Leon's from the backside, though. We'll find another. Confirms it onto English. This guy is the big story of the map. Down to just 2 players. This is go any way, honestly, at this point in time.
Oh, man. Alliance. Leon's. The 4 fingers that are finding a way to bite back every opportunity they're given. And he will not go down without a fight. He has played it smart, played it slow, found opportunities to come in like a scalpel and cause carnage over the course of the remaining time he's had right here, Blank. And if he can still add more to his total tally, this could be a devilishly good game. If he fins the numbers, you've got an opportunity. He could still make something work here.
That was the best member he could have taken out as well. Onto Mad Bulls, dropping him down to 2 players. There's a real chance now for him. As well as the fact that he gets a massive resupply. 7 grenades in the back pocket. 2 Molotovs. He's got a lot to work with there, and that 1 elimination might just be the difference maker. Flique on the back of a tree. This is easily nadeable here for Leon's.
Oh, Leon's. How far can you take it? Can he live his movie the whole way through and somehow snatch away another chicken dinner? Is that the storyline that could potentially be built from this one? It would be off the back of broken, busted squads that have come in front of him. He's taking damage from the side, though. Flique spots him out. Nade thrown wide. He's looking to punish now. Bobbing, weaving. The man's a Hell in a Cell boxer, and he's looking to throw out the right hook. Switches back to the nade. Wants to engage on this one. He's waiting for his opportunity. Primed and ready. The damage is going to go wide, Blank.
He's got so many to work with. Got a Molotov as well. Hasn't used it just yet. Sends it behind the tree, but Flique's playing pretty perfectly until that one knocks him right in the gob. Another nade sent out randomly over the side, clearing out the other tree. Now knows that Tulika's further down the hill here. What is happening here? A 1v1v1. A 4-way towards the end of the map.
This is Leon's world, and we are just living in it. He is the beating heart of UDO Alliance, and he will not stop pumping until he has found a way to carve a path to that chicken dinner. But there are still squads in front of him. Everyone isolated, playing the long con, playing the angles. They don't want to make that first mistake now.
Just cutting through the lobby, assassinating members of other teams where he can, going toe-to-toe with 2 in front. Heads down the hill, spots another there. That should be an easy elim for Leon's. Strikes it up to 13 elims. Contains the high ground. What an incredible game this has been so far from a solo.
Lucky number 13 for Leon's, but he doesn't need any luck. It's all skill right now with the way that he's been playing this one out, focusing on being able to isolate these next 2 fights. There's such a good timeline for him here. He's got through the hard part. He's just got to be able to pull it out. Ooh. Lucky to be alive. That one really was divine intervention. He can tuck back into cover, re-heal off the back of it. He's still standing.
Top, out in the open here, challenging him. Peek out. Gets a spot onto Rogue as well. This is perfect news for him. Circle's going to close in. Stage 9. Last one. This will pull all teams together. And Leon's has to run down this hill. Brazen play he'll have to make.
He's looking for that opportunity. his best bet before he kicks in those sprint boots and starts on running. There's the response back, though. First pickup. Yo! Oh, he goes on to do it. A massive performance. You Alliance, they do not go down. Leon's as a solo stand strong, and once again, a chicken dinner is theirs.
What an insane game there from Alliance. They were pulled apart, the Alliance broken, but united still, they stand strong towards the end of the game. Leons, like you said, man, that was a move. We were talking about cinema at the start, but this